Colin Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And they made what into a TV series, Tomb Raider, Legend of Lara Croft, episode 2 from season 1, A Set of Lies Agreed Upon. Directed by Giselle Farragon-R and written by Tasha Hyo. After the confusing, from one perspective, yours of the first episode, to the messy first episode from my perspective, things begin to settle down now, and now we're getting the sort of longer term storytelling that will show us the adventures of Lara Croft as we go along with an overarching story, hopefully based in detailed character growth. But we do get to see some of that here, so you can kind of see what they're trying to do early on. As Lara has traveled to China tracking Charles, but the tracker that was on the box has now stopped working, forcing her to search some nearby villages. En route, her guide tells her about the lost ancient ruins of Tianzi and through a legend about the gods giving the king a ruby to make China powerful. And she thinks this is what the box they're searching for has inside. The shrine, though, is a myth. And the guide says, look, if you're looking for it, maybe go to this small village. You might find somewhere there who knows where it is. But it's more a myth, apparently lost to time. I'm down for this sort of stuff. This is my Tomb Raider.
Yep,
this,
definitely.
More villages, lost shrines, fucking jungles, banging.
Yeah. This is definitely like a Tomb Raider village, and
Yeah, take a lesson, Cradle of Life. None of this Lara Croft in cities, shooting in buildings and stuff like that. No, we want, basically, we want female Indiana Jones. Let's be serious here. This is exactly what we're here for.
Yep.
Just no Nazis, because that's actually Indiana Jones. We don't need that in Lara Croft yet. She arrives and starts asking questions and finds herself up against people who basically don't want to see her help her. And I love this. To see this, how badly out of place. And again, I'm going to ask you for your benefit going forward as well. Compare this to what you know. The Lara Croft played by Angelina Jolie. Do you remember when we see Angelina Jolie in Taiwanese villages and Chinese villages? She's respectful, she sits, she prays, she wears their wear, she's kind, she's liked by people. This Lara Croft is grabbing people by the arm, demanding. They don't trust her, they think she's a treasure hunter, and she's angry that they don't just give her what she wants, like basically a rich spoilt girl. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, well, my perspective, I saw it as the fact that she's still a bit new. She still hasn't learned the game properly. That she still doesn't know how to, I don't know, work her way around these people in these villages and stuff like that. So
exactly that. But thankfully, Jonah has followed her though and uses his charm and kindness to speak to the village people, much to Lara's annoyance. Basically, we kind of see her. She can't keep her cool, and this is an important aspect of the character development of Lara Croft, because we all know older Lara Croft, one of the things about her is she keeps her cool. In the face of danger and threat, she's making jokes and puns and references. She's a cool character. This Lara Croft can't even skip a stone without seemingly being tormented by visions of her failures and the death of someone important to her and so on. Memories of Roth's death, basically.
Yeah.
So you know where this is going. She's going to have to learn to move on and accept what happened. Jonah arrives and together they go to speak to the villagers, where the elder agrees to give her a guide to the shrine. No, didn't say the magic word. They want Lara and Jonah's help first, as their children have disappeared, and it seems to be related to a large hole that has appeared nearby. So that's kind of a side, basically what we have here is a side quest. Don't say it. I'm saving it to the end. Save it to the end. I've got the same reference, and I'm going to say it at the end. But yeah, so like we've got a side quest here, and again, I'm a big fan of this because it's an adventure within an adventure.
Yeah. So they're giving you other tasks to do, and it's more.
But it's got connective threads, because not only does it give us much more detail about the overarching world Lara Croft is living in, the backstory, the detail, you know, these legends to talking about the king and all that. You know, this is real. This is real. As soon as I heard, I'm probably butchering his name, Tianzi. That's the last king of the last king of China of a specific dynasty.
Oh wow! So
the legend around it is like, to me, so like they're talking about real shit here, and that's what Tomb Raider's always been very good at, is taking real legends, particularly to do with sort of Chinese, Taiwanese, like folklore and mythology, and tying it into the game. The games do that as well. and I love that. So I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, so they proper done their research.
Oh, absolutely. So sometimes what feels like it quite be overwhelming when they're talking about legends and fox gods and all of that. And it's like, no, remember this stuff does exist in
Yeah,
Far Eastern culture. So arriving at the hole, and it is a big hole, Lara descends into it to find missing kids, and Jonah follows her. At the same time, we see Charles and his guide are in the same forest, also looking for the shrine. Inside, Laura continues to be office to Jonah, but Jonah is just a kind dude. And she kind of softens. And that is very much like Jonah is in the game, a very kind dude.
mm,
It's a dangerous environment and certainly ruddy and mysterious. But eventually, they face off against the fox spirit Daji and barely escape. So I like that kind of supernatural thing that appears. And I'm glad the show's made it early on. Look, this is a supernatural show. But Tomb Raider always was supernatural. Shit, even the original
yeah,
90s video game. Think about the end boss of that. Fucking that, do you know what I mean? It's a flying winged monster. Like, it's
yeah,
supernatural. But this is more based in mythology. That's the difference, you know? They follow a glowing butterfly, discovering a Chinese shrine deep underground. And through that and through paintings, Lara realizes so Daji was supposed to be the fox spirit that tricked the king and used the ruby to bring about chaos. But actually, it was the other way around. And Daji wasn't the baddie. Daji was the protector and the one trying to get the ruby away. And Lara realizes that the boxes aren't what Charles is after, but it's what inside. Daji took the stone and hid it, and Lara thinks it's here at its shrine. Her and Jonah are able to get inside the shrine where the jade box is, but the ruby stone isn't inside. It's empty. Not long after that, they come across the spirit and find the children as the palace begins to collapse. They gathered around Daji's coffin, and she realizes that she has to release Daji from the coffin. Now, through all of this, it's all Jonah's getting frustrated with her because he's trying to focus on the kids, and he thinks she's trying to focus on the treasure. And he's kind of like, look, this, you know, like you can see he's concerned that she's losing focus of what they're here to do, which is rescue the kids. What he isn't realizing is the two are basically linked.
yeah,
Daji brought the kids here in the hope that someone would come to rescue the kids, and so basically release the Daji from its prison, which Lara
yeah.
does. They're able to escape, barely, and only thanks to the help of the fox spirit, who saves them at Laura's request. And before leaving, the spirit and Lara do actually share a moment where she and it bow to each other. So this is where this character development of Lara learning about like kindness and understanding and like reading between the lines and not just automatically presuming this and presuming that and going in
Yeah.
hot-headed saves her.
Learning respecting the
Yeah.
culture and stuff.
Which is such a major part of her, because let's not forget, future Lara Croft is not a treasure hunter. She is
No.
not trying to steal treasure. She's trying to stop others doing
Hmm.
it. It belongs in a museum, basically. And just to keep those references going, the kids are saved and brought back to the village. And I was just like, I'm getting some serious Temple of Doom vibes here.
Yeah, so yeah. I was going to say when he said that, it 100% adds the plot of Temple of Doom.
I also think it's hilarious that Lara and Jonah got the kids to agree to do what Indy and the woman, whatever her name is. What was her name? Do you remember it? Jessie?
God.
Oh, fuck, it's gone. But anyway,
Yeah,
in the end, the woman must have whispered to those kids, listen, don't come running until I say a certain word. So it's a really cool surprise. They did the same here. It's like, does that mean like the kids just hanging back waiting for their cue kind of
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Lara is thanked and given a new weapon of sorts by a young woman. Obviously, video game fans will recognize this all-important weapon that will become a major part of Lara's arsenal in the reboot trilogy, the hook and the rope. It's got a hook in the end, it sticks to the walls, you pull yourself. Yep, Shadow of Tomb Raider fans will recognize it. Damon won't.
I thought it could be her guns. I thought it would be like the
Oh, we're
two.
way away. I think we're way away from them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Laura's offered a guide, but doesn't need that. Basically, because the temple, the shrine she was originally looking for, doesn't have what she needs. She refuses, but thanks. And her and John are part of the boat where she is pleased. Where he is pleased, oh, I'm glad to see. Like that felt like the Lara Croft of old, doing stuff for kindness rather than for treasure or in anger. But she's still kind of fixated on this journey, and he continues to urge her, look, stop chasing Nisk. She thinks she can beat Charles to the ruby, but seemingly chaos is beginning to grow in power because as it's being searched for, a tidal wave grows behind them and looks like it's going to overtake them. And that's where this episode ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. I wanted to see what happens next time. Yeah, I enjoyed this one more. I felt like, okay, now we're settling down. We're settling down with Lara. We're beginning to get a bit more insight to her character. We're trekking and going around the world and seeing like different cultures and learning a bit more mythology and history. Because that's the fun thing about Tomb Raider as well. You can sometimes learn something, and that's a fun fucking aspect, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so I like history too. You know, I love the history and the culture. So I mean, but you asked me a question in the last one, like if I wasn't doing these videos, would I continue watching it? After that episode, I definitely would because
Okay.
because it was definitely intriguing. But I do think though, for brand new fans who just want to see that they would be concerned and probably be I could see like another Halo issue happening. Or people like, but not criticizing the law, but like, what's this? This is not Tomb Raider. This is not the Tomb Raider I wanted.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it all depends what Tomb Raider you know. But then I would argue if you've got that attitude, this isn't the Tomb Raider I know, that's on you. There is
Yeah,
all the fucking content is there. It's on you if you didn't decide to follow it along. I think the
yeah,
biggest difference between a Halo one is, of course, that Halo dropped all the law, basically. That's what upset people the most. It
yeah,
changed such significant events, whereas this one is basically remember, it's telling a brand new stuff, it's telling all new stuff, but it's using the games as its basis. And that's the thing about animation is you can get away with more direct video game stuff than you can in live action, you know, way
yeah,
more. I enjoy this way more. I love the adventure side of things, and I'm excited to see basically what comes next.
yeah. I agree.
Episode 2, A Set of Lies Agreed Upon. Got any thoughts? Know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.